Let's get to work. Come on.
Welcome to the Master of Trades podcast with your host, Harry Ellison.
I would have never thought in a million years I'd do something like this.
Pretty cool.
So 2018, you know the story. I had zero fitness lifestyle, no exercise routine daily. I thought my way to health was diet alone, and you go through spurts of try to eat well, stay on a specific plan. You see 5 or 10 pounds drop plus or minus, and you get encouraged, and then you get sad. And I realized that, foundation for a great healthy lifestyle was in fitness, and then started making that move in 2018. Just got fed up with the way I was looking, the way that I was feeling, and really knew that my potential was not that.
Sure.
Like, I could do better, should do better, no excuse. Never had it demonstrated from my parents what physical fitness looked like. And so it's not an excuse. I just didn't know really where to start.
Yeah.
And then realized kind of how powerful that is, man. To have people in your environment, parents, yes, brothers, sisters, friends, people who you've seen, carry on a fitness lifestyle, and then to get that perspective of it's not fun. No, it does suck. So in 2018, I just got fed up and I started doing it every day. That produced massive, long-lasting change for me, and I'm so grateful for it. But it was really last year, I was on a trip with some of my friends, and we were in Arizona running around Red Rock, doing a little 3-mile run. Beautiful area. Sedona, Arizona is incredible.
Fantastic.
And he was telling us about the Ironman races he was doing. Shout out to Taylor Doolittle, incredible guy, great connector. But he was telling us about his journey in Ironman, and the fact that he and other group of guys would run for an organization called Fathers for the Fatherless. Shout out to Jeff Zog, who is amazing, runs that organization. And as soon as he says Father for the Fatherless, I'm like, A, that's who my God defines himself as to be, and B, that's who I want to be. That's been on my heart forever. That's awesome. C, who is this? What is this connection with Ironman? And he said, hey, look, like, the journey's painful, it's hard, but it's nothing like living without a father. We run and we raise money for fatherless kids, and in that time of, pain and hard, we realize this is what kids have to live with every single day. So contextualizing that, it was a challenge that he didn't even know. He spoke into me like, look, you feel for this demographic. How about you represent this demographic? How about you show up, you do something that challenges you greatly, and you do something you don't believe you would be able to do. So asking him what it was, the Ironman 70.3, which is a half Ironman. I had someone a week before I was set to do.
But let me tell you,
the race, called it a mini Ironman.
That's jacked up.
Okay, it's just I was like, it's not a mini, it's exactly 50%.
Yeah.
Other people who've done the full Ironmans call it,
dude, it's
not really an Ironman. So I get it. It's all those things. Whatever.
It's a beast.
At the end of the day, it's a 1.5 miles of swimming. It's a 56-mile bike ride, and then a 13.1-mile run. And it has been an incredible journey this past year. So December of last year, I started training. December 26th, got on the path of training. Did 6 months before my first race in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Wow.
And then as soon as Chattanooga was over, took a few weeks off, trained for Waco, which was just this past week. This past Sunday, finished Waco.
Wow.
So
fantastic.
It's been incredible. And I'm trying to figure out when you're signing up. When does
right now?
You're signing up right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chattanooga
2025. Let's go.
Yeah, love it. I was even looking at Oceanside 2025, but somebody said, dude, open water ocean swim, freezing. So I was like, they're like, yeah, you probably don't want to do Oceanside on your first round, bro. Yeah. And the pros will do Oceanside as well. It's another ball game. But anyway,
tasting salt water as you're swimming along.
It's kind of awesome, though, right?
Yeah. Chattanooga's a great one to start with.
Yeah,
it's awesome, beautiful area. Yeah. So December 26th, I started training and going into your environment, a couple shout outs that I've already done.
Yeah.
Adam Hill, another shout out to my man Adam, who actually trains triathletes, provided a beautiful curated training regimen for this entire journey for leading up to Chattanooga. The intervals were beautiful from start to finish. So, it just goes to show, like, this thing I would have never done. I would have never done it without community. Without guys pulling me up, challenging me up, then other guys showing me the way. So having great leadership around me, being willing to be led, like having guys who know the way, go the way, and show the way. To say, hey, you can do it too. And I hope to be that for people. But man, beautiful training program. Starts off real light, 500 yards in a pool, which is, 20 laps back and forth. And I'm telling you, like the first time I got into
gassed.
First time in the pool.
It's a lot of work, man.
Was an experience because I forgot my swim cap and my goggles. Swipe. And, we got pictures of that very first day of training. We'll throw it up on the podcast. Big blue, clunky goggles, pink swim cap. I'm owning it. I love that moment because A, I was unprepared. B, you can't let that stop you. Oh, I don't have everything I need. I guess I'm not doing it today. And then you don't show up tomorrow. I was like unwilling not to put in the work that day. And then 3, for my kids to see, like, pivot. When things don't go well, you don't lay yourself off the hook. You find another way to do what you are setting out to do. So that was a great experience, but very hard. So each lap I took 25 yards, had to stop, take a breath, 20 seconds, 30 seconds goes by before I feel like I could just swim back the other length of the pool. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to swim consistently for 1.5 miles.
Wow.
So in that moment, if you would have asked me, am I going to be successful in this race? The answer is no. Like going back and forth, standing up, there's no standing in a river when you're surrounded by thousands of people swimming along with you. So back and forth, standing up, and I have no idea. Every day it would go like that. The first, it was 3 months of me swimming. I would have to stop consistently, take a breath, but I noticed, my time of resting is actually shorter. It used to be 30 seconds.
You're getting stronger.
Seconds.
Getting stronger.
Now it's 15 seconds. I wasn't getting caught up with still, I have to stand up and I have to breathe. But now I can go after 15 seconds. And so looking at data, it was so important, and really acknowledging the small wins turned into, I don't have to stop. I can do 2 laps in a row.
Wow.
Turned into, I can go back and forth without stopping, eventually doing 3,500 yards, 2-mile swims. And it just progressively happened that way. So swimming specifically, that's a hard one right there. That's the toughest nut to crack.
Wow.
If you would have asked me before this, I swim. As you do an egg beater, holding your drink above the pool water, like, that's swimming. Let's go for a swim.
I've swam. Yeah, this is a whole other ball game.
Yeah,
for sure.
But wow. The training was, it was rigorous. You're training according to heart rate. You're out there for time. It's punishing every day. It's like you're winning that race every single day. You're not thinking about the eventual distance you have to go. You're not thinking about next week's training. You're thinking about every step right now. I cannot quit. I've just got to go a long distance, and I've got to be okay with it. And you're just getting your head right. Like, some things that help me through training is thinking about guys that would love to be out there. Nick Vujicic. No arms, no legs. One of the most inspiring people out there. Would love to be out there being able to challenge his body in that way, and I'm graced to do that. Kids sitting in a hospital room. The parents with their kids in the hospital room don't have the time, could not care less about race. They've got other priorities. And so look at me, I get this tremendous opportunity to challenge myself, to grow my mentality, and I don't have to go to the hospital. I'm not mourning the loss of someone or something. There's no excuse here. And so considering, the fact that I could, the fact that I had great people around me, it's like, I don't have any excuse. It would be a shame for me not to follow through with this.
Wow.
And I would be, it would be something I couldn't live with, because of anybody who should be successful in this, it should be you, based on how this is laid out. So the training for the first race was, it was, by the way, every time I got into the pool to train, and I did hundreds of miles of training in the pool for the first race, the first 200 yards that I would swim, fight or flight would kick off in my brain. And I would think, you're going to drown. You're not going to be successful. Why are you doing this? This is not you. This is not what you do. I mean, my head is screaming at myself right now, like, get out, stop, overwhelmed, and only staying in that pool for 5 laps, going back and forth. Do I start to calm down and do I start to find a rhythm? And I want to touch on that in my last race because that came back.
Wow, that's
to get me, and I want to be real because man, you have challenges that come up.
Yeah.
You can't possibly avoid these negative voices screaming at you. These thoughts that rise up. You gotta fight back, and I absolutely experienced that. You get a week before the race just to rest. You're not doing anything, so you're kind of get a little bit weirded out. Like, I'm used to training a lot. I'm coming to the race. I need to be doing something. No, you're actually supposed to be doing nothing. You're supposed to be resting, allowing your muscles to recover and get fully healthy. He said the hay is in the barn. The training has been done, and the race is not the challenge. The race is an expression of the work that you've already put in. It's the victory lap.
This will preach, man.
It's the victory lap. Yeah, that's right. And so every day is you winning that race. It's when no one's there, no one's around you. You're going after those results, and you're challenging your mentality. And so, man, it was incredibly therapeutic out there too. Just being hours suffering and doing something you don't want to do, and in the quiet of your mind, or maybe you're listening to a podcast. I spent a lot of time in the Word and the Bible, listening to the Bible, or listening to audiobooks.
Sure.
And now being removed from the training, being done, it's like, man, I see the path right outside my house.
And I miss
that.
that.
I miss it. I miss those days of just being out there and being able to just refresh and be able to just get in touch with my mentality and challenge myself and know that, man, no matter what else happens in this day apart from my training, I'm used to doing hard stuff. I'm used to overcoming my mind where it's complaining at me.
Yeah.
And actually during those times where my mind's complaining, it's trying to tell me that, hey, you're in danger, you need to stop doing this is bad for you.
Yeah.
And in those moments, I actually do what's called a body check, where I just start to, okay, I hear you, I'm with you. Let's actually see if something's wrong. If I'm running, how are my feet right now? How are my legs right now? How's my breathing? Am I in any sort of actual pain to indicate something's wrong with my body? And the answer is almost always no. Are you fatigued? Are you tired? Are you uncomfortable? Yeah. And if it's a matter of discomfort, my response to my mind is like, get used to discomfort. You're complaining. You're fine. Yeah. So it's interesting how often we quit because there's discomfort, and we confuse that with pain or something actually really to be worried about. There are times where something wouldn't feel right in my body, and I would listen, and you stop because that's out of the ordinary. But
that's interesting.
But yeah, no, I did the first race, and then during the first race, I totally blew out my legs on the run.
The first race, Chattanooga.
Yeah, Chattanooga. Went way too hard on the bike. Didn't know what I was doing in a new environment. Outside of my training wasn't the same. Got to the run, every single muscle, both my legs were locked up.
Wow.
Just totally locked up. Excruciating pain in my legs from mile 1 to mile 13.
Wow.
I told myself I was never going to do that race ever again. Over and over. It's okay. Just get this done and you won't do this again.
Just finish.
And that's fine. And that was the way I processed the first race.
Sure.
But as soon as I got done with that, as soon as I crossed the finish line, my body settled. It was like, that was kind of fun. I missed that. And so I went into the second race just this past Sunday thinking, okay, you're going to hate the run. You're going to be thinking you never want to do this again. But I made little tweaks from what I learned the first race. I made just small intentional adjustments to my approach.
Yeah.
And actually during the run, I felt amazing. Ran the whole time, no issue, and I never once said I'm never going to do this again. So it made me think like, man, your expectations are even not what you should fall back on as the truth when you're properly planning to overcome those challenges from the last experience. But you've got to stack experiences.
Yeah.
The only way to know and improve and have a better time next time is to actually have a previous point of reference to learn from it and to grow. And so, the entire experience is incredible. I highly recommend it to anybody. Do a small triathlon sprint, do a marathon, walk it, crawl it if you need to.
Yeah.
Physical condition is not an excuse for you not to do something like this and be active.
Yeah.
The energy is incredible. This is where people join together.
Yeah.
And they come have an incredibly wholesome time. My kids ran a mile little
That's so
marathon,
cool.
Iron Kid. I ran it with them. This entire weekend is centered around physical fitness, mental fitness, being outside. It's one of the greatest things that you can do is
awesome.
promote the body and the mind and
Yeah.
challenge yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about stewardship for business owners. Look, first of all, I had a fitness company. I started when I was 17
Yeah.
that I was running. It started in 2009, 17.
Sure.
And in 2018, I got my physical fitness on. Like, it's a lot of years there where I wasn't properly representing
For sure.
the thing that I ran. Like,
Yeah.
what a hypocrite. Hey,
Sure.
don't be a hypocrite. Like, represent the products and services. Be a consumer of your own products. Like,
Sure.
that's a side thing.
Yeah.
If you run a plumbing company and you got plumbing issues at your house, you better be calling your technicians,
Yeah.
not the competitor.
Sure.
That's the first thing. And then the second thing is to be an effective business owner that inspires people, that's actually on a growth trajectory. You got to be someone that's taking care of your physical fitness, your mental health through activity, to be your best, to have the endurance to keep up with the day and all of its demands, the stress of handling hard situations. You've got to forge that stuff before the day starts, before people are hitting the phones. 8 o'clock, you got to be ready to go and have a practice of honing in your mind to do uncomfortable things and to be stressing your body in a productive way, knowing that you're getting positive outcomes, and then to be an example of that to your people. I can't imagine being a business owner that doesn't demand their people to be better.
Yeah.
But how are you a business owner that demands that, but yet everyone can see that you are letting things go in some obvious areas?
Yeah.
Like, your marriage is miserable. You yell at your wife or your spouse over the phone.
Yeah, I
and
need to
yet
stop doing that.
you're talking to people about the importance of it, or your physical fitness. Come on, guys, be better as your and be the preacher. That analogy.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah, like if we're going to demand better from people, we've got to be 10x that on ourselves. We've got to be hold such a higher standard for ourselves than we do for others. But
know the way, go the way, show the way.
That's it.
Let's do it.
So excited. Well, I can't wait to join you in Chattanooga.
Let's go, baby.
I'll tell Jen that I'm joining
Let's
Chattanooga.
go, baby. I better finish that race, man.
You're going to do it. I'm going to get you there. Environment, baby.
It's all about environment.
I'm going to get you there.
That's it. Get around the right people.
Awesome.
Show me your friends. I'll show you your future. Let's do this.
Thanks for joining us today. Guys, tuning in. Like, subscribe. Get your physical fitness intact.
Let's go.
For yourself, for your family, for your community.
And we out.
And we out.